Today I'm joining you from Hindustan Zinc SK Mines, which is located in Dariba, about 70 kilometers from the beautiful city of Udaipur. What's special about this mines, you will ask? Well, let me tell you an interesting fact about this mine. The underground rescue team at this mine is an all-women team. We'll talk to some members of this team and understand what life at underground mines looks like. And we will also talk to the CEO of Hindustan Zinc, Arun Misra, to understand what their outlook is, growth plans, Capex guidance, all that and more coming up. And now I have with me some women from the all-women mining rescue team here at SK Mines in Rajasthan. And we will try to decode how life is at underground mines, what are the key learnings and experience from mining. Thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now from your busy schedule. First, if you can tell us, how did your family and the community at large react when you told them that you want to get into mining, especially because this is a male-dominated industry? What was their first reaction?
So earlier they got some kind of hesitation along with them because of for being a parents of a daughter, to think about their career because of the associated with a risk, the stereotype and the kind of unfamiliarities. But on the later stage, they see are the trainings and their self-motivations and their well-being sessions and all the things around us. The changing our body languages, the confidence is already boosted up. So, their doubts turned into the pride. They introduced me not as a daughter only, but as a shaping the future of a future mining industry as well. And the villages and the township around us, they also changed their perception regarding the mining, because earlier they thought about that there is a risky zone and all the things, but now they're seen as the aspirational and a respective career sources as well. So yes, it is a pride moment for all of us to being represent India at the international level as well, and being a part of the all India's underground mine women rescue team.
Well, yes, indeed. And if you can tell us, how has life been over here? What motivated you to get into mining? And now that you are a part of the all-women mining team, rescue team, if you can tell us, how would you inspire people to get into this?
Yes, we desire to prove that women are more capable and for the high-risk jobs and the demanding technical jobs. So we want to show that we can do anything. So our management support us very well, and they encourage us to join rescue and just see how risky life is and why saving life is more important. So we take this responsibility, we join rescue, and we pave our path in new direction, and this is how it is, and we are very proud that we are an underground mine rescue personals.
We have a very special guest lined up for you today, Arun Misra, CEO at Hindustan Zinc. Sir, thank you so much for taking your time out and hosting us here at your mines. If you can tell us, how important is this mine for you? Let's start by that. How much reserves does this mine have?
So this mine, SK Mine, is world's third largest mine, and it produces roughly about a third of our total metal that we produce. Also, this mine is endowed with silver-rich minerals, so almost 70-80% of our silver comes from this mine. And this mine is, puts us in the global map that we are fifth largest producer of silver, and of course, it is world's third largest lead zinc mine.
Understood. And how much revenue does this mine generate for you?
We don't look at it that way. Overall, if you look at it, a $4 billion revenue, it will be about a third of that.
Oh, 1/3 of the total revenue that Hindustan Zinc generates. All right, let's go into your underground conference room then and discuss the outlook for the company.
Sure.
All right, first let's talk about the global macro setup. I understand Hindustan Zinc doesn't directly get impacted because of the global turmoil. But if you can tell us, how does this impact the global commodity market at large, and what kind of impact are you expected to face in terms of zinc prices because of the kind of uncertainty that we are seeing in the global market?
We have seen global uncertainties, but fortunately, it is being caused or affected by one country only.
Indeed.
So there is the retaliatory actions by other countries are not that prominent. So and if there are retaliatory action, they are also directed towards one country only.
Right.
But otherwise, the countries among themselves are doing partnerships.
Right.
For example, India, China, Russia, the BRICS, the Europe, Europe, Canada, they all are now lining up as an alternative market to US market. So we don't see much of a turbulence. If at all, if any impact, it is there inside USA, their inflation and the prices. If it is outside, the countries which are emerging economy led by India will continue to grow, will continue to spend on infrastructure. The entire emerging economy, India, Southeast Asia, will have a rising steel demand, and of course will have a rising zinc demand as well. Chinese economy will, of course will grow, fueled by of course cheaper fuel from Russia, coal from Russia, and good the new partnerships and new geopolitical realities are emerging, and I am sure this will now have a new reality where of course we are not exporting anything to a USA. We are exporting a very little amount to Europe. We are mostly in Middle East and Southeast Asia. We are not affected at all by that. But overall, if you look at the zinc scenario, yes, there are positive outlook reflected by rising LME prices in the recent past, and I am sure by the year end we should see a $3,000 kind of a price, which will bring back everything in the good time.
Okay, so last time when we spoke to you, I remember you had given a guidance of 2,650 to 2,850, and now you're saying that zinc prices could touch $3,000 per ton in the near future. But since you spoke about Chinese economy, especially even after the kind of stimulus Chinese government has given, it has barely done anything, right? The stimulus has barely moved the needle. If you can tell us, because China is the biggest consumer of most commodities, what kind of impact will Chinese economy have on the global commodity market, especially for zinc?
No, so Chinese economy fundamentals cannot be ignored. One, the huge consumer base, domestic consumer base that they have. Second, the basic size of economy. Even if China stops growing, their 4% growth is enough to eat up maybe 10 other countries. So their 4%, 5% domestic growth rate is wonderful for us. As far as China is concerned, currently you will see their domestic demand will shoot up, and they are all realized that instead of focusing so much of exports, they have to ensure that the per capita income within the country increases, and hence you are seeing the new realities of Chinese equation. When earlier they were looking only towards USA, now they are looking towards India, towards Russia, and towards Canada, Europe for partnerships. It's a new reality, and I am sure Chinese growth rate of 4 to 5%, Indian growth rate of 11 to 12% is good enough for all of us.
Okay, and let's also talk about domestic demand environment that has remained resilient. Indian economy continues to remain strong. How do you expect demand to shape up going forward, at least say over the next 2 to 3 years?
No, Indian economy, one is of course like China, our population base, rising middle class, and also a continuous expenditure by Government of India on the infrastructure. Now that has been also given another boost by consumer consumption by way of reduction of GST. Now that is also coupled with modifications in the mining laws that have been done. All in all, you will see this current reform of GST will spark domestic consumption. It will also help lots of secondary, tertiary users of metals going into the market and making consumer goods, which will impact steel industry and of course ourselves in the zinc industry as an addendum to that.
Understood. And let's also talk about your 2x growth strategy. And you've announced a whole host of Capex as well for the next few years. Where does your capacity stand currently? And as a result of this growth Capex that you've announced, how much will capacity increase by?
So currently we are at about 1.1 million ton capacity roughly. We are adding another 0.25 million ton of new smelter in Dewari, which we have announced for 12,000 crores, and additional concentrator, and then the mine expansion that will take us to 1.35 million ton. Very soon we are going to announce another 700,000 tons or 0.7 million ton smelter, or 0.65 million ton of smelter of zinc plus lead smelter. So that will add up to maybe 1.9, 1.95, so roughly about 2 million ton. And of course we will do debottlenecking of the current smelters to reach 2 million ton goal. We are planning to increase silver from 750 tons to 1500 tons per year. We are starting a recycling plant in Agucha of 10 million ton tailing recycling plant, which will add another maybe 150 KT of zinc to our total KT. So all in all, the plan is firm on 2 million ton. The investments have already been announced for the first phase. Second and third phase should be announced by November. although these are phasing of ordering, while the actions are all on the ground, and I'm sure in 3 to 4 years' time we will see the volume of Hindustan Zinc not only change, also in the meantime some of our new critical mineral blocks will come into play. The offer to the market on metals will also change.
Okay, and let's also talk about how do you aim to finance this capex then?
No, see, our profit after tax every year is roughly about 10,000 crore, and it's a matter of 4 to 5 years of projects, so it's about 50,000 crore. Altogether, we should be spending anywhere between 30 to 35,000 crore. So money-wise, there is no issue, and also we are a AAA rated company. We are generally net debt free company, so everybody would love to give us money for expansion as well.
But how much of it will be financed via internal accruals and how much via expenditure?
We can finance 100%, but it's a matter of choice of whether my treasury earns more money than the interest on loan that I pay.
Right.
Accordingly, some debts may come in and go, but
Okay.
otherwise, generally speaking, it's a self-finance project.
Okay, and let's also talk about your silver business because of the kind of upmove that we've seen in silver prices of late, and you also generate nearly 20% of your revenue from silver operations. And I was specifically asked by my colleague to ask you about silver prices. I'll tell you why. Last time when we interacted with you, you had told us that silver could reach $42 per ounce. It has already crossed that. So what is the next target now?
No, it will now fluctuate at that level, and by January it should remain steady till 42.
Okay.
If it can maintain 42 for say 5 to 6 months, then a new normal will be achieved, and
Okay.
after that the movement will start.
So for now you're saying 42,
Yeah.
it is expected to remain range bound in the near
range bound
future
only.
for the next 6 to 8 months.
Absolutely.
Understood. And given the surge that we have seen in silver prices, do you have any capex plans in particular for your silver operations?
So as I said, when I have to put another 750 tons of silver, I have to put a silver refinery.
Okay.
So location may be this location itself closest to the mine. And of course we are putting the recycling plant from where again we will take out silver. And for any new smelter coming in, we will have fumer as a part of the smelter so that we can take out silver which is getting lost in the zinc circuit.
Okay, and what about rare earth minerals? I understand you have already acquired a few blocks. The gestation period is long, but when do you expect it to fructify?
So roughly, if the lease deeds are all done now, another 2 years of exploration, we should be able to in a position to start mining. So maybe 2 plus 3, about 5 years time when we said something coming out of the mine.
Okay, and apart from zinc, silver and the rare earth minerals that you're working on, any other metal that you're looking to explore?
No, so all the minerals that critical mineral bouquet that government has, and all that whenever they are coming in, depending upon the priorities, we are bidding for it. So of course we have got vanadium, we have got tungsten, we have got monazite, we have got potash. So we had got gold, but that has got cancelled. But we are looking at more gold properties. So we will, and also platinum group of metals, whenever they come, will be there. So I think our fundamentals are clear. We are expert in deep mining. We are expert in roasting, leaching, smelting. So any of these operations is applicable to any of the minerals, we are there. And yes, we will continue to grow in that space.
And Hindustan Zinc was also looking to demerge its businesses. There has been no update since then. If you can clarify that for us.
No, so right now, see, our hands are full. One hand is Vedanta demerger, other hand is Hindustan Zinc's own growth of 2x. So I'm sure a time will come when the sizes are such, when you have 1500 tons and all that, the size itself will demand a separation as a different business so that more focus can be given.
But is government causing a trouble in...
No, they're all stakeholders in that business, right? So the risk appetite the private entrepreneur can have, government has different view. So the risks of the business, we appreciate, we understand in a different manner. So I'm sure that's why the size is also important. When you have a certain size, the same risks becomes minimal, and that is going to happen after.
So nothing on the table for now. Yes.
Right now we are too focused on now this growth, critical mineral, how to bring in new metals. Enough of work in our hands now.
Let's now talk about the all-women mining rescue team here at SK Mines. If you can tell us more, what motivated you to come up with this idea of all-women mining team?
See, with the changes in the law, of course, women were allowed into the mine. So we allowed women to be there. But also we wanted women to be seen doing everything that men do in a mining operation. While operations came to women easily, but mines rescue was one facet which was untouched by women, and it was traditionally thought that you have to carry a 85 kg weight dummy and perform drills and all that with so much of equipment which is beyond the scope of women. So we wanted to prove that wrong for others, and hence we thought of, if in India somebody can start it first, it can be us. So we started our first women rescue team. Then they became national champion. Then they went global. They become runners-up in the global competition. That motivated new generation of next set of women also to become rescue. Now all over India, almost all mining companies have a women rescue team.
Okay, and also let's talk about Hindustan Zinc being listed at the global level in terms of mining conglomerate. If you can tell us more about the award that you got recently.
No, so we have been allowed into the club of CEOs, which is called ICMM. ICMM is a club of CEOs where the CEOs enter by declaration. They will abide by certain mining principles. It's all about sustainable mining. It is all about responsible mining. And for that, the CEOs have to write the principles by which they will mine. So we have to take care of society. We have to take care of endangered communities. We have to take care of all the tailings dam as per the global standards on tailing management. We cannot injure anyone. We cannot cause fatalities. We have to adopt the global standards on environment management, and of course no net loss to biodiversity. The path towards net zero emissions should be very clear. So all that, there is about 360-degree commitment from the company, and this is something which is extremely difficult. Last 4 years nobody has been allowed to become a member. After 4 years of gap, we from the first company from India and Asia to become a member there.
Okay, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Being the first company from India and Asia. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining us here on ET.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.